Life is hectic.
Some days are just a blur.
We're Jay and Laura LaFoon, and we help busy couples stay married for life.
Welcome to the Married for Life podcast.
We are super excited to be doing a couple things different here in the month of May. We are actually going to be answering questions from listeners. We love it when our listeners shout out to us with a serious question. And we so appreciate the questions that we receive from you guys. We want to make sure we answer every one. So for the next few weeks, we're going to be focusing on doing just that, answering questions from listeners.
So this week's question from a listener is, what stagnates intimacy? What keeps intimacy from happening? And the listener goes on to explain that she believes in her marriage, the difference is in their love languages. She writes, I used to think mine was physical touch, but because through the 30 plus years of much counseling and hormonal changes, I kind of gave up on that. And I just took the quiz again and found that mine is actually quality time. I'm pretty sure his is acts of service, and he will gladly help me get stuff done, but I want him to do it with me. Instead, he thinks we'll accomplish more if you work on one thing and I work on another. If all I wanted was a clean house, I could get help with stuff. If all I wanted was a clean house, help with that stuff's great, but I want to spend time doing it together so we can talk, etc. This way, by the time we both finish, our separate areas come together late at night and fall asleep. So what she's saying is that their love languages, while hers is quality time, his is acts of service. And so his thought is, let's just cut all the chores and you go do this and I'll go do that. And her quality time is not getting met because she wants to do that stuff together.
This is interesting because this is actually, Jay and Laura didn't write this question, but this is Jay and Laura. Laura's love language is quality time for reals, and mine is acts of service. And what's interesting is Laura and I work together. We play together, we sleep together, we eat
exercise together.
We do everything together. And for me, I'm like, well, is that not quality time?
Nope.
And the answer is no. So I got to go above and beyond even that. And for me, it's acts of service. And so like if Laura says, hey, can I get you a glass of iced tea? That says to me, I love you. Instead of she brings me an iced tea and goes, look, this is doing acts of service. Does that count?
I'm only doing that because I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing acts of service. I'm trying to work really hard on doing acts of service.
But when you have to ask if it's acts of service, it's not.
I just wanted to point it out that it was. But like the other night, we were cooking dinner together, and
that's quality time.
Yeah, but you had to ask,
right.
Is this quality time? Right. So see there, it's the same thing. But yes, we can understand how these differences in love languages can actually be sometimes a hindrance or preventing intimacy. And what you have to do is you have to continually re-examine your love languages, because I do think they change. I think they change with age and the longer that you're married.
When we first took the test, I thought I was physical touch. No, I was just young and horny. That's all. That's all it was. Because I'm not a huggy guy, and that's the kind of people who like physical touch, or the huggy type of people.
And it really is important to make sure that you understand what you and your spouse's love languages are, and that you speak those love languages, because what happens is often we speak our own love language and we don't speak our spouse's, and that's where it hinders intimacy, is because you're not speaking your spouse's love language and communicating that love to your spouse.
Right. So early in our marriage, I knew for a fact that Laura's love languages were quality time and gifts, but early in our marriage, I was a cheapskate, and so I really
putting it mild.
So I didn't get her very good gifts. And I don't remember how long ago it was, but then I started surprising her at Christmas with some really awesome gifts. And I saw what joy it brought her. And that really is what you're looking for to recapture that intimacy, is to watch your spouse, study your spouse, and see what brings them joy, see what brings them happiness, and then work real hard to do that.
Well, and I would say in this particular instance with this listener, communicating to your spouse that I love it when we spend time together. So that's my quality time. You like getting your stuff done. That's your acts of service. So let's work together. I'll get my quality time and you'll get your stuff checked off your list, and we both get our love languages.
Well, a great way to do that, for those of you whose quality time is your love language, a great way to do that is to say, hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee, or let's go out for lunch, to actually initiate spending time. That's what Laura had to do for me. You know, it was, okay, where are we going to lunch today, honey? Oh, okay, so you need some J time. And that really works well, because as human beings, we don't just know. We don't just know, well, he should just know or she should just know. No, that's not the case. One of mine are acts of service and words of affirmation. And Laura's spiritual gift is sarcasm. So rarely do I get the words of affirmation.
That's why I'm trying to work really hard on acts of service, because I know I'm going to fail at words of affirmation really easily. But seriously, if you have never looked at you and your spouse's love languages, check that book out. It's by Dr. Gary Chapman, called The 5 Languages of Love. Changed our marriage early on, and then we have since taken the test. You can also go online and take that test, I believe, free. At 5lovelanguages.com or
and
something.
Free.
Just Google it. You'll be able to find it. But really, it is important to speak your spouse's love language, and it will help the intimacy of your marriage.
Well, it's true. When you're feeling loved and when you feel like you're being loved, it makes you want to make love. I mean, that's as simple as that can be.
And no, that's not quality time.
It's not? It is for me. It's high quality.
So is it acts of service then?
And just tell me I was great afterward. I'll be great. I'll be wonderful.
All right, I got that figured out now.
Oh, yes.
Well, hey, thanks for joining us today. Again, we said we're going to be doing things a little differently in the next couple weeks. So send your questions in. We'd love to answer them and give you some tips and thoughts for your marriage.